Okay. Henry jo Henry Johann Ibsen. Johann. We pronounce it as a Johann Ibsen. Uh, he was a Norwegian playwright and theater director. Ibsen is considered the world's see, remember that he is the first father of modern drama.
Yeah, ma'am.
These are the works he wrote. Remember, right? His major works include Brand, Peer Gynt, Emperor and Galilean, A Doll's House, Ghost, An Enemy of the People, The Wild Duck. Write all these names, okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
Rose, Rose Mushroom, Hedda Gabler. Hedda Gabler was a question usually comes in net exam. Hedda Gabler, The Master Builder, and When We Dead Awaken. Ibsen is the most frequently performed dramatist in the world after Shakespeare. Okay, he was a person whose plays were performed more after Shakespeare. But all okay, now write it. Where should I write? Let me
Yeah, ma'am.
open one second. Can you see my screen, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, now we will write. First, write A Doll's House was published in Norway on December 4th, 1879. Second point, it was first staged in Copenhagen, Copenhagen on December 20th, 1879. Okay, next point.
Yeah, ma'am.
This play caused an immediate sensation, sparked debate and controversy, and brought Ibsen international fame. But after this play only, Ibsen got the international fame. Means people got to know about him after this. After he wrote this play and after it was performed on stage. Next point. Performing the play was considered a revolutionary action, a daring defiance of cultural norms of Victorian Europe. Norms, it's not norma, it's norms. Basically, this point is stating that after this play was performed, the era started changing. Okay, Europe.
Yeah, ma'am.
Next point. Now we'll talk about Let's go to another slide. Now let's talk about Henrik Ibsen. Just give this heading Henrik. Okay, first thing, he was born to a middle family, born to, sorry, born to a middle class, whose economic stability was threatened, threatened during his childhood. Okay,
Yeah, ma'am.
Ibsen used our doll's house as one vehicle for questioning, questioning, for questioning the importance and the tyranny of wealth. This play comes from Ibsen's middle period, when his most radical ideas were presented, published in 1879, as I told you, written originally in Norway, Norwegian. So these are the points. Remember this.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Now another slide. Now plays structure. First, the events are almost never told in the order in which they occur. That means you will see there is not a chronology order in the play. There will be like plays going in the present, then the play is taking you again on the flashback. Then play is coming on the present, then it is taking you to the flashback or to some memory. Okay,
Yeah, ma'am.
just a minute. Next point, the ordering of the telling of incidents can be as important as incidents themselves. This point means even you will see that the play is not in the chronology order, but still it is important to know that play is going in the present, then the flashback is very important. And then because that is showing the way, I mean, even the play is not in order, but still going into the flashback makes it unique. Just remember that.
Yeah, ma'am.
Play main focus. Major focuses. First point. You will see the in this middle class life and morality, psychological conflicts, and then okay, just this one is enough. Okay,
Yeah, ma'am.
are you writing also, right?
Yeah, yeah, ma'am.
Okay, next slide. Now background and exclusively masculine society with laws written by men and with PRO, prosecutors and judges to regard feminine conduct from a masculine point of view. That means this point is stating that, see, at that time when this play was published, that time the society was very orthodox, and that time the society was based on masculine point of view. That means uh, what women feels, what women want. We are not focusing on about what woman emotion is going through. We are not focusing on emotion, not at all. We are just focusing on what society made rules, and those rules are also made by only men's, not from women's point of view. Just remember that.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now we'll write major characters. Next.
Ma-
Yeah,
Ma'am,
we
ma'am.
want
Thanks, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am.
major characters first. Provide help. He is a lawyer. So sorry. A lawyer. Then second, Nora. Then Dr. Rank. He is sort of a close friend. Mrs. Linde. She is Nora's. Sorry. Means Rockstad. A bank clerk. These are the major characters.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now the should I shift to another slide?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Now the minor character. Eva, Emmy, and Bob. These are Helmer's children. Annie married, gets snubs. Helene, she's a maid. Only these three are the minor characters.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now let's go to the summary. Let me just wait a second. Hmm. See, we'll read the summary from here. A doll's house opens on Christmas Eve. Eve means Christmas is starting tomorrow and आज की शाम को मतलब क्रिसमस होने से पहले जो शाम होती है उसको बोलते हैं क्रिसमस ईव.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. And here, Nora Helmer, she is a protagonist of the play. The play was revolving around her. Okay. She enters her well-furnished living room. The setting of the play is living room. Remember that.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. The setting of the entire play. Carrying several packages, she was holding so many packages in her hand. Torvald Helmer. He is a husband of Nora Helmer. Nora's husband comes out of his study. He was in his study room. He came out when he hears her arrive. When he heard that Nora came back to the house. He greets her playfully and affectionately. That means he was just teasing her, saying things जो जो हम प्यार से लोगों को बोलते हैं ना जब हम हमारे अपने तौर पे आते हैं कि और बताओ कैसे हो हाय हेलो. He greets her playfully and affectionately, but then chides her for spending so much money on Christmas gift. That means first he was uh, affectionately he was saying things to Nora ki what you bought, what exactly the things you have bought from the shop. Then he was like जैसे sarcasm way में उसको taunt मारना. Chides मतलब insulting in a sarcasm way. Chides her for spending so much money on Christmas gift. Their conversation reveals that Helmer have had to be careful with money for many years. उनकी conversation जब हम play में पढ़ेंगे, when we read the play and we see the conversation between them, we will see that कि Torvald Helmer was a person who is very conscious about spending money. तो जो इंसान बहुत conscious होता है ना money को spend करने में, उसको बोलते हैं tight fist. One second. Mate. I'm just telling you, tight wrist. टाइट रिस्ट मतलब जो खर्चा करने से पहले बहुत बार सोचता है. ओके. सो ही इज दैट पर्सन. बट दैट टोरवाल्ड हैज रिसेंटली ऑब्टेन्ड बट टोरवाल्ड हेलमर को अभी अभी in his company he got a promotion, new position at the bank where he works that will afford them a more comfortable life. That means the job he was doing before was giving them a life but not the comfortable one. They could not able to uh, spend a lot of money and they have to be like very careful while spending money. But in this, um, after his promotion, he got a good, he can even afford a comfortable life. Just remember that. Helene, the maid, announces that Helmer's dear friend Dr. Rank has came to visit. So this one, Dr. Rank, Helmer का दोस्त है वो घर पे आ गया है. At the same time, another visitor also arrived, the unknown. And to Nora, it was a great surprise. Her name is Christine Linde, Mrs. Linde, which we were saying now. Her full name
Yeah.
is Christine Linde. She was a
Yeah.
former school friend. Former means old one. Former school friends comes into the room. She came to Nora's house. The two have not seen each other for years. उन्होंने एक दूसरे को नहीं देखा था बहुत सालों से. They were not knowing how they look. I mean, how Nora was not aware of that, how Linde looks, and Linda was not even aware of that, how Nora look. Okay.
Yeah,
Mrs.
ma'am.
Linde tells Nora that when her husband died, here we will see that ki Mrs. Linde has no husband because her husband died. She
Yeah.
left with no money. Now, when her husband died, she was facing so many problems because she left with no money and no children. Here, Mrs. Linde does not even have a husband or a children. Nora tells Mrs. Linde about her first year of marriage. The thing is, the conversation was going on between Nora and Mrs. Linde. जब हम दो लड़कियां दोस्त मिलते हैं तो हम बताते हैं ना हमारी लाइफ में ये चल रहा है. This is going on in my life. This is going. So kind of conversation is going on, and Nora was very happy, and she was showing that she was telling her about the first year of her marriage with Torvald. She explains that they were very poor and both had to work long hours. दोनों के दोनों बहुत they were like working for long hours. And Torvald, then that time only on the first year of their marriage, Torvald became sick. He got some health issue. She adds that the couple had to travel to Italy because Torvald was not well. So Nora, the woman,
Yeah,
girl,
ma'am.
wife, she took her husband to the Italy, where she was expecting that Torvald will recover. Okay. Nora inquires further about Mrs. Lindsay life. Then the conversation was going on between them. Uh,
Okay.
one second. Okay. Now Nora was, is it audible?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Nora was inquiring about Mrs. Linde's life, that उसके बाद क्या हुआ after your husband died and you have no children, what exactly how you are going through in your life. Mrs. Linde explains that for years she had to take care of her sick mother and two younger brothers. That means even after her husband died, she was taking care of the family. And in family, she has one sick mother and two younger brothers. She was taking care of them. Okay.
Yeah.
She stated that her mother has passed away. And now, recently, at the present time, Mrs. Linde has no mother because she's passed away, and the brother are too old to need her. And the वो जो छोटे भाई बहन थे उसके वो बड़े हो गए हैं. Now they don't need her. Instead of feeling relief, Mrs. Linde says she feels empty because she has no occupation. Now, Mrs. Linde has no responsibility. Husband है नहीं, बेटा है, बच्चे हैं नहीं, मम्मी जो सिक थी वो मर गई है, भाई
Mm.
दोनों बड़े हो गए हैं. Now she has nothing to do. So she was feeling empty. She wants to do something क्योंकि उसने लाइफ लॉन्ग कुछ ना कुछ किया है. If a person who did a lot of I mean, not lot of, who did something in his or her life for a longer period of time, and suddenly she has nothing to do or he has nothing to do, feels lonely. So here, Mrs. Linde was feeling that loneliness and she wants a job. So she came to Nora's house for this only. She wants Nora to speak to her husband, that means Torvald, to help Mrs. Linde to get the job. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Here, Nora illegally borrowed. Now, here, the conversation was going on, and Nora was telling to Mrs. Linde that I illegally borrowed money for the trip that she and Torvald took to Italy. Why they went to Italy? Because Torvald was not well, and
Mm.
because he was not well, and they were not that much financially stable. So that's why Mrs. Linde took some financial help, money help from somebody, and then she went to Italy with her husband. Okay, so she told Torvald that the money, और उसने ना अपने husband से झूठ बोला था. She lied
Yeah.
to her husband that the money was given by Nora's father, who has passed away now. मतलब उसके नोरा के पापा नहीं है, और जो मनी नोरा को दिया गया था, जो कि उसने किसी और से उधार लिया था, बट उसने अपने हस्बैंड को झूठ बोला कि वो मुझे जो पैसा मिला था, दैट वाज गिवन बाय माय फादर. For years, Nora reveals she has worked and saved in secret. And then Nora said in front of Mrs. Linde that the money which I took, obviously, I have to repay that with interest. So, what Nora was doing, she was working and saving secretly without the knowledge of her husband. That means her husband was not even aware of that. Nora has taken loan from somebody, and he was not even aware of that. Nora was saving money secretly. So this was the secret she revealed in front of Mrs. Linde. Now there is another character entry. His name is Krogstad. He was a person who was working with Torvald, the same guy, but in the lower position, lower level. He was not a senior; he was a junior person. Okay, and
Yeah.
he arrived. He also arrived to Nora's house. Nora react uneasily after when Nora see that Krogstad came to her house. She was behaving strangely. Okay, and Dr.
Yeah.
Rand coming out of the study says Krogstad is a morally sick. Here, you will see one thing. This guy Krogstad, he was not a kind of optimist person. In the play you will see that this was a person who is playing a role of negative role. He was playing
Yeah.
an antagonist role. And in the play, Torvald, Nora's husband, and this Torvald's best friend Dr. Rang, they both hate this character Krogstad.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
when he has finished meeting with Krogstad, Torvald come out into the living room and says that he can probably hire Mrs. Linde at the back. After talking to, they were having a talk, he decided that he will definitely help Mrs. Linde.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now, Dr. Rank, Torvald, and Mrs. Linde then depart. Now they were like, Mrs. Linde said thank you to Torvald and they left. Leaving Nora by herself. They were not thinking what Nora is doing and all. वो अब लोग अपने अपने काम के लिए चले गए. Okay.
Yeah.
Nora's children with their nanny. Now we will see another entry of Nora's children, all three children, Bob, Amy, and one more name was there. I don't remember. Okay. Annie, Mary, and Nora plays. Oh, yeah, in the Annie, Mary, and Nora plays with them until she notices Krogstad present in the room. The two converse, and Krogstad is revealed to be the source of Nora. बाद में when this was going on, उसके बच्चे आए. Okay, I'll tell you the story.
Yeah,
The
ma'am.
children, the children came out in the living room, and they were playing with their mother Nora, and Nora notices the Krogstad was still there in the room, and then she went to speak to Krogstad, and when she was talking to Krogstad, uh, the play reveals that the person with whom Nora take the loan secretly was this person, Krogstad.
Oh, yeah, ma'am.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Krogstad states that Torvald wants to hire him from his position at the bank, fire him. Here, you will see that Torvald was a person, as I told you, he hates this guy, Krogstad, because he was not a person who works hard. And Torvald does not like does not like these kind of people who are not working hard. So he wants to fire this guy. And just to save his job, Krogstad came to Nora's house seeking the help from Nora. And he wants Nora to go and talk to her husband. Okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
When when Nora refuses, she said, No, I will not talk. Krogstad threatened her, मतलब धमकी देता है, that if you will not go and talk to your husband, I will reveal the secret that you have taken loan from me. Okay? This was the blackmailing he gave to Nora.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now, after giving the threaten to Nora, he left the living room. He leaves, and when Torvald came back, Nora's tried to convince him not to fire Krogstad. She was trying her best कि Torvald कैसे भी मान जाए, but Torvald will hear nothing. Torvald was like, "You are here. You will see the kind of attitude Torvald was holding is like a masculine attitude. Who is the top of the position? मतलब वो अपने आप को एक मर्द समझ रहा है, मर्द है वो, और he is a masculine character, and here he is not ready to listen to a woman. Why? Because woman is, according to him, woman is weak, fragile, and why would he listen to a housewife when he is a man? This was the attitude Torvald was holding. So when Nora was trying her best to convince Torvald not to fire Krogstad, he was not ready to listen to him. Listen to her. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
He declares that Krogstad as is an immoral person, and he states that he physically ill in the presence of such people. And he was like, मुझे ऐसे इंसान पसंद नहीं है जो काम वगैरह नहीं करते, और मैं इनके आसपास रहता हूँ तो आई फील इल, physically ill. So that's why I want to fire this guy. Act 2 started. Act 2 opens with the following day, same day Act 2 open होता है, क्रिसमस स्टार्ट हो जाता है. Christmas alone, Nora paces her living room. The setting is still same, living room, filled with anxiety. She was very scared because Krogstad gave her that threaten. Mrs. Linde again, she came and helped Nora on in the costume ball, and Nora will be attending at her neighbor's home the following evening because that was Christmas, so people are going from one place to another. I mean, one house to another house just to wish each other. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Nora tells Mrs. Linde that Dr. Rank has a mortal illness, and that he inherited from his father. यहाँ पे नोरा मिसेस लिंडे को एक और सीक्रेट बोलती है, दैट डॉक्टर रैंक, उनको एक बीमारी है जो उनको हेरिडिटरी मिली है, मतलब उनके माँ बाप को भी थी इसलिए वो उनको मिली है. ओके. Nora's suspicious behavior leads Mrs. Linde to guess that Dr. Rank is a source of Nora's loan. So here, because Nora already told Mrs. Linde that she has taken loan from somebody when she was going to Italy. So here, Mrs. Linde was thinking that the person with whom Nora has taken the money is Dr. Rank. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Nora denies. She was like, no, Mrs. Linde charged but refusal to reveal the source of his distress. Uh, मना कर दिया उसने. और यहाँ पे नोरा was trying to ask Mrs. Linde that what is the problem, what you are going through, what exactly is going in your life. And Nora, that Mrs. Linde decided not to share anything with her. And again, Nora again begs him. Then Torvald आता है on the Christmas day again. Norvald request no, Nora was requesting Torvald not to go and talk to not to go and talk to Torvald regarding the loan thing. So what exactly you will see that in the play, this Krogstad, he already write a letter in the name of Torvald, and he sent it to Nora's address. So, this the letter is coming today only on the Christmas day. So here, Nora was trying to request Krogstad not to say anything in front of this Torvald, and whatever the letter you Krogstad send, please stop it. That's what she was trying. Okay.
Yeah,
And
ma'am.
Krogstad was not ready to listen because he was thinking that I can use Nora and I can save my job. On the other hand, Thorvald was not ready to listen to Nora because he thinks that ki Nora is a woman and she does not know anything about the outside world. So Nora was feeling, I mean, अगर हम किसी इंसान को ऐसे feel करवाते, even that woman need, that person has a potential to do something, and still we make her or him feel like, oh, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. So that person started feeling someday, ki, okay, fine, maybe I cannot do this. So here Nora is feeling the same. Okay, and she was scared, she was feeling anxiety, and she was feeling exhausted also. Okay,
Yeah, ma'am.
then Torvald leaves, Dr. Rank arrives, in the play is going on like that. Second. Doctor, here in the story, you will see that Dr. Rank is a character who, as I told you, who is ill and he can die anytime. So she attempts to cheer him and begins to flirt with him. यहाँ पे Nora, the this Nora, she always tried to cheer up Dr. Rank because she knows that Dr. Rank is not physically or mentally stable and he can die anytime. So she tries to flirt with this guy, not in the flirting sense, not in the bad sense, but to
Yeah.
जैसे हम दोस्तों के साथ नहीं करते हैं कि और बता भाई क्या है कुछ नहीं होगा, even when we know that कि the the problem is going on, but still we try to cheer up our friend. So in the same way, Nora, you will see the Nora character with Dr. Rank has a different uh, face, different point of view. Okay. She seems to be preparing to ask him to intervene on her behalf in the struggle with Torvald. In the story, you will see Noora was a person who used to share things to Dr. Rank, and she considered Dr. Rank as her close friend, not the best friend, but yeah, the close one.
Yeah, ma'am.
And Dr. Rank reveals to Noora that he is in love with her here because वो होता है ना कि लड़का और लड़की दोस्त नहीं हो सकते, there is something like that. So the Nora's what to say, Nora's behavior towards Dr. Rang was just based on humanity because he was thinking that Dr. Rang can die anytime, so she was good with him. But here Dr. Rank thinks that Nora might have feelings for him, feelings for Dr. Rank, and Dr. Rank started liking Nora, and he reveals his feeling in front of Nora. And then Nora refuses to ask Dr. Rank for anything. Now she was like, okay, fine. Nora ने ये वाली बात सुनी and she was kind of shocked. Then Dr. Rank leaves. Krogstad arrive again. वो दुश्मन आता है, antagonist, and he demands an explanation for his dismissal. He wants respectively and change the terms of the blackmail. He now insists to Nora not only that he will hire at the bank, rehired, but हाँ यहाँ पे वापस ये क्रॉस टैग आता है. He came and he was again started blackmailing Nora that you have to go and talk to your husband that he should rehired me, and I don't want just rehired me, he should rehired me in a higher position. Then he puts a letter detailing Nora debts and forgery in the helmet's letter box. This is this is a time when he do this. मतलब वो पूरा का पूरा सच लिख देता है एक लेटर में और उनके लेटर बॉक्स गेट के बाहर जो लेटर बॉक्स होता है वहां पे छोड़ देता है. Okay, in a panic, Nora tells Mrs. Linde everything. Now Nora was feeling so bad, मतलब anxiety उसको हो रहा था, and only Nora can share her things with Mrs. Linde only because she was her friend before. So she said everything to Mrs. Linde. And then here, Mrs. Linde was advising Nora, instructing Nora to delay Torvald for opening the letter. She was like, try to, uh, try delaying opening the letter by Torvald. Okay, जितना भी हो सके आप वो करो कि Torvald लेटर ओपन ना करे. ठीक है. So
Yeah.
in this scenario, you will see when you will read a play that Nora was trying to say to Torvald to come and dance with her or to spend some time with her, and she was like trying her best so that Torvald will not open the letter. Okay,
Yeah, ma'am.
and because of this, she even did Tarantila, a kind of. I'll show you what is Tarantila. And she wore a costume party. मतलब वो सब कुछ कर रही थी अपने हिसाब से कि तोरवाल लेटर ना खोले. And because she was very emotionally down, she dances weirdly in front of people, and that shows the disrespect of Torvald, because Torvald, as I told you, Torvald was a character who is very masculine in nature. He believes in showing off मतलब उसके लिए image बहुत matter करती है. And when he sees his wife dancing in the Christmas party in front of so many people weirdly, he felt so bad. Then Nora manages to make Torvald promise not to open this mail until she perform at the party. So Nora was like, I am going to perform a tarantella, and I want a promise from you that you will not open the letter till I will perform. Mrs. Linde soon returns and says that she has left Krogstad a note, but he will be gone until the following evening. The next night, अब अगला क्या होता है? Costume party takes place upstairs. Krogstad Mrs. Linde से मिलता है living room में, and they started having a conversation. And in the conversation, when Mrs. Linde and Krogstad were like talking to each other, they felt that they are in love with each other. Okay, and then because now Krogstad was feeling that he's in love with Mrs. Linde and they can have a future together. So here,
Mm.
Mrs. Linde used this opportunity to save her friend, and she requested Krogstad not to that write a letter again, stating that whatever you wrote in the previous letter was all fake and Nora has nothing to do with you and she never took a loan from you. तो वो
Mm.
मिसेस लिंडे क्रॉस करके बोलती है अब ये सब कर दो जिससे कि नोरा की लाइफ खराब ना हो. ओके.
Yeah, ma'am.
एंड क्रॉक्सटेड मान भी जाता है उस चीज के लिए. Then after that, okay, in the last what happened, Torvald reads तो जो भी होता है, Torvald लेटर पढ़ता है. He feels so outraged, मतलब he was very angry. He calls Nora a hypocrite. वो नोरा को बुलाता है पार्टी में ही सबके सामने, उसको hypocrite बोलता है, liar बोलता है, complain करता है to ruining his happiness, and he declares that she will not be allowed to raise that she he was like, I will not allow you to raise my children. Helene then brings again वो जो दूसरा वाला लेटर वो लिखता है, वो दूसरा वाला लेटर भी लेके आती है. थोरवाल्ड उसको पढ़ता है, डिस्कवर, फिर पढ़ने के बाद पता चलता है कि क्रॉक्सटैड ने जो लेटर लिखा था वो सब झूठा था. ठीक है. तो
Mm.
टॉरवल्ड इस बात को सुन के बहुत खुश होता है कि ठीक है, जो पहले लेटर था वो झूठा था. मेरी नूरा बुरी नहीं है, शी इज नॉट बैड, शी इज नॉट अ लायर, शी इज नॉट अ hypocrite, शी इज नॉट हाइडिंग थिंग्स फ्रॉम मी. एंड टॉरवल्ड वाज वेरी हैप्पी, बट the way he reacted in front of people with Nora, the way he talked to Nora, that hurts Nora a lot. Okay, his harsh words was triggering Nora. Nora was like, how can my husband talk to me in the way, I mean, in this way, when I gave him a long service. मतलब, according to you in the play ना, you will see that कि टॉरवेल्ड नोरा को अलग अलग नामों से बुलाता है, बट वियर्ड वियर्ड नेम से, बेबी. मतलब he is treating Nora like a baby doll, that who does not know how to think, how to do things in life, मतलब जिसके पास दिमाग नहीं है और जिसको मैं बस अपनी तरीके से चला रहा हूँ. Like Torvald is telling Nora what to do and what not to do. So when he read the letter and he figured out that कि Nora was a person who मतलब उसकी वो मर्दानगी पे उंगली उठती है ना. When he read the letter, first letter, he got to know that ki Nora was a person who took a loan first, and then she took him to Italy, and when after reaching the Italy, he got repaired. I mean, he got recovered, and this all Nora did by alone. So according to Torvald, that was a shocking thing because as a woman, how can a woman do this kind of thing who is a housewife? Okay,
Yeah, ma'am.
so that's insulted Nora a lot. यहाँ पे नोरा को बहुत बुरा लगता है. She declares that despite their 8 years of marriage, they do not understand each other. And Torvald, Nora asserts, has treated like a doll to be played with and admired. He was like, Nora यहाँ पे बोलते हैं कि you always treated me like a doll, not like a person who can think and can give their opinion. क्योंकि in the play you will see that कि Nora was trying to convince Torvald not to fire Krogstad, but he was not ready to listen to her. Not because कि उसको वो कुछ प्रॉब्लम थी, पर उसको ये लगता था कि नोरा के पास दिमाग नहीं है, वो कैसे मुझे बोल सकती है कि ये करना है या ये नहीं करना है. That was a
Yeah.
thing which was hurting Nora. She decided to leave Torvald, और उस टाइम पे वो Torvald को छोड़ती है. Declares that she must make sense of herself and everything around her. She walks out, slamming the door. At the end, you will see that Nora left her children's and Torvald, her husband, by saying that I don't want to live with you now, I'm going. That time also, Torvald, Nora's husband, was trying to stop her. He was like, what you will do without me? So Nora was like, I can I can be myself with me without you. With you, I feel like a doll who is holding the key of my life in his hand. So, uh, like this the play ends. Why this play was very shocking and sensational at that time, because us time pe, the time when this play was written, 1879, that time was a time of क्या बोलते हैं, masculinity, orthodox conservative mindset where women are not allowed to think, write, speak. And suddenly, when a housewife like a Nora who has no job, nothing, and still she is holding that much of courage to leave her husband and children and walk out from the door, that because of this play was very famous at that time. Are you understanding me?
Yeah, yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So, how do you like the play? I'm
Superb,
speaking.
ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. The story was so good. It's an inspirational story for an woman.
Yeah, and that time when you just, I mean, if we will see this play from this present time in 2024, it's very normal to for a woman to leave house and stay outside alone. But think of it, it was written in 1879. That time woman was not even allowed to go out. And
Yeah,
at that time, a woman who is housewife, and she leaves everything and went out and started her own life. That was very courageous act. So
yeah,
that
ma'am.
because of this, Henry Ibsen became very famous because of this play, A Doll's
Yeah.
House. I'm so tired by speaking so much.
I so sorry, ma'am, for bothering you.
Hey, it's all right. It's just like this online class is like kind of boring. They should go for offline classes so that I can talk to people, interact with each other, and like that. But in this online class, I have to only speak. It's all
Yeah,
right.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Tomorrow,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
thank you. Tomorrow we will try to finish American and African drama as soon as possible, because I don't think I will finish all the blocks. You have to do it by your own, but
Sure,
still
ma'am.
you will do it, I'm sure. And
Yeah, ma'am.
I will share you my details also. If you need any help in future, let me know.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Then we'll finish the class for a day.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, by
Okay.
the tomorrow, can you share the PDF, ma'am?
Yeah, I will. Just send me your number in the chat so that I can
Yeah,
contact you.
yeah, ma'am.
Otherwise, just take my number.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm texting my number, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, I get your number, Chipanya. 1 second, let me save this number.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll message
Yeah,
you. Okay.
yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Have a
Thanks,
good
ma'am.
day. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
You're the same, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you.